feel like this is gonna be a crazy show. I think it's pretty brave, but it was like the first step. I don't think to go to Jamaica. I just want this to be a crazy intro.
I think
like,
it is though.
The fact that we going in the hood, a bunch of street dudes, talking about homophobia, and we homos.
And we homos.
It's stupid. It's stupid. Alright. I want y'all all to feel comfortable. Do what y'all do on y'all regular basis when y'all in y'all group talking. I don't want nobody to feel uncomfortable because of my appearance or her appearance and feel like y'all have to curb y'all language. Don't worry about that. This is business. This ain't personal. Is being gay the act of having sex with the same sex?
I mean, that's being gay. Like, you're not gay abstinent.
Can I answer that? I don't have nothing against, I don't have nothing against anybody, but I don't have nothing against a person who might seem like a feminine male, you know what I'm saying? Or a female who might seem like an aggressive female. But yeah, the sexual act is what I define it as, because with people being, say, aggressive or feminine, I don't attribute those behaviors to just a male thing. Like, I don't think just men are aggressive. I don't think just females are feminine, because you have a lot of feminine dudes out here that don't want to fight, don't want to kill, don't want to shoot nobody, but they love all the females in the world, and all they want to do is be pretty boys. And that, to me, that's vanity. That's very feminine. But I don't consider them homos. You know what I mean? So.
See, I was just I was going to say the same thing, because like soft-spoken people, you don't. I mean, that don't necessarily mean that you're gay, but you know what I mean. At the same time, if you acting feminine, you know what I mean. I don't know. He dissects that different. We all different. Yeah. It depends. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be acting feminine and might not be gay. Or you could be acting feminine and be gay. You know what I'm saying? I would never know that, wise, because I'm not going to approach you and act you. That's your business.
All right, so you said you're not going to be gay and abstinent. Now, how about if I never had sex, but I have urges only in the women's direction? Am I not gay?
Pretty much.
Confused.
Oh yeah, you're in turmoil. Yeah. You're in turmoil. Like you're in a fight with yourself. You don't know what you are. You're on the fence.
How am I in a fight with myself if I'm not attracted to men in a sexual manner, but I'm attracted to women in a sexual? There's no confusion there.
Oh, then you're a gay virgin.
Exactly. But I'm gay. But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If I'm still gay, then how is gay the sexual act?
True.
I'm a nurse, right? And I find that I can't really be myself when I'm going for job interviews or trying to work at certain hospitals, because certain places, you know, they look at you like, oh, I don't want that working here. So, you know, I have to, this is how I'm comfortable, but yet when I go on a job interview, I have to put on the tight pants and, you know, the little fluffy blouse and whatnot. And it's not something I'm comfortable with, but it's like I have to do it because of how society is.
My sexuality does not hurt or enhance my career. I am in the medical field, so there's not really any need for me to be coming out every day, because that's what I'm doing basically as a feminine woman. I have to come out every day to everyone basically if they're asking about relationships. I keep my work life and my personal life completely separate. That's the way they should be. That's the way it always will be.
I've been in situations where I know that I could get a gig, but because I was a little more aggressive, it was a problem. If I had the long weave and dressed a certain way, I would have been in a better position than I am right now.
Oh, my music career is I would say it's hurt me, and something that I was willing to accept. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't willing to show off, you know, tits and ass to get to the top, or be a female 50 to get to the top. I wasn't willing to do anything but be me. You know what I mean? So I think if I just had the perm swinging, had some butt cheek hanging out, you know what I mean, out the poom poom shorts, probably would have had single. You know what I mean? But I wasn't willing to do that, so I chose use my other talents.
Why do girls like women that resemble guys? I think they want to have that male machismo look as of a man, but then they still wanted to be a woman inside.
When you look for your partner, you want to have somebody either stronger. I mean, you want to learn from your partner. So
if you mess with a girl that's just like a guy, then why not just mess with a guy?
It's just sexy. It's something about it. Like, I mean, I think it's so cute. Just girls being comfortable, just going against the grain. Like, I don't know. It's just, I guess when I see AG, I see rebellion. Because, you know, like earlier in the early days, girls are supposed to be in dresses and corsets and stuff like that. And to see a girl with like some Timbs and baggy jeans, I'm like, my heart.
I feel like if they wanted a man, they should have been with a man like me.
I can dig it.
It's not about being a boy or girl, it's just who you are. There's some people who want to play that role, you know, who walk around with the strap on or grow facial hair and shit like that, but I think it's just a matter of what the balance is, you know what I'm saying? Femmes, they like that security, they like that safety, they like that aggressiveness, but they still want the softness of a woman in the same sense. So it's like, it's not about being a man or who's, you know what I'm saying? I don't really believe in calling it that, because that's basically us putting ourselves into a box that society already puts us into.
It's just who is more aggressive in their nature, so that would be considered the boy.
Well, if you look at me, they don't know what I am. I get that question since 20 years ago. What are you? I do my nails, I do my hair, lip gloss, be popping, and I dress how I dress. I get up in the morning, I throw on jeans, sneakers. I get up in the morning, throw on a mini and some heels. So it's about how I feel. I don't try to label people. Some people are more aggressive in nature. Some people are more submissive. So it's about who you feel and what you're comfortable in your own skin.
Oh, I mean, if we got to say boy, girl, I will be the boy if that's what we describe. Like, who's the more dominant one in the relationship? It's always me. It's always me in my relationships, because I mean, you have to give a woman a sense of feeling like she has some, you know, say so and different things. But when it comes down to it, like as far as like being like a provider or somebody to teach you certain things, or you know what I mean, just to be that a certain type of presence or whatever, or a force, it's definitely me. It's definitely me.
I hate when people ask me that question, who's the boy and who's the girl in the relationship? The relationship that I am now, we're both very feminine, but she's a little bit more aggressive than I am. But I wouldn't call her a boy because she's really in touch with her femininity. So it's like, she knows that she's a female. She's perfectly fine with it. She's just a little bit more aggressive than I am. I like it. I get a little aggressive too. I'm not a boy though.
In a lesbian relationship, there's two women. That's why we're called lesbians. Yeah, two vaginas. There's no boys at all.
I wish I would be somebody talking about, bitch, why you ain't cook nothing? With my dinner, bitch.
What I feel about aggressive female, I mean, to each his own, you know what I'm saying? If a girl's aggressive, she's aggressive, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? But on the other standpoint, I remember I was at the train station, I seen this like cute chick, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at her, whatever. And then her girl, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know it was her girl, whatever came up, and she was just grilling me like, mugging me. I'm like, yo.
Beat you up and shit. Yeah.
But it was not gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, do I have to hit this female and shit? Should I hit this female? Cause she about to attack me, you know what I'm saying? So that I don't like I don't like that aggressive part, you know what I'm saying? Cause it make me feel like I gotta force my hand on the female.
Like you gotta hit it.
I realized my homosexuality wasn't a phase at about 16. It was like a feeling that I never felt in my life. My heart was racing, like it felt like I stepped into like a matrix, like, oh, this is like a whole new world. Like,
when I actually fell in love with the first female, I just realized, okay, well, this is where I want to be. This is where I'm the most comfortable. I don't feel like I felt when I was with a guy.
Being my background is West Indian, I tried to convert and pretend like I was straight, but it didn't work.
I know it's not just a phase. When I see my life. Well, I see my life for life with a certain person. You know what I mean? When I think of marriage and a family, I think of a beautiful woman and my kids and me taking care of my family and getting married. I don't imagine myself getting married with some dude.
I'm gonna keep it really real. Sometimes I still hope. Sometimes I'm like, man. Sometimes I still hope it's a phase. Like, I've always wanted to marry a man and to have like a normal life. That's what I grew up with, is the picture of my successful life, and I kind of felt like I'm failing because I just can't lie.
And also, the attraction is not going away. You know what I mean? It's like stronger and stronger every day. You know, so it's not a phase. It's not something that I kind of like, or it's not a front. It's just like this is what it is. Like, you know.
When I meet a guy, automatically I ask them if they're straight or gay. If they tell me they feel like they're straight, I ask them, have they ever been with females like myself before? If they say, oh, I've been with girls like you, automatically I know they're gay. No matter if they tell me, oh, I still mess around with girls, and I still did, no. Honey, you a Fruit Loop, you like it, take it, yeah. And if a guy tells me, oh, I've never done this before, you understand, automatically to me that's straight until the moment, you know, you see me naked and you start, you know, doing things that your mama told you never not to do.
How do I know if my partner's really gay and it's just not a phase? Because he's never been with a woman.
How do I know that? You never know. You never know. But I mean, there is sign, you know, if you start, you know, if you're in a relationship, you know a little bit about the past of the person, and if you should know.
I just think about certain things that a person does, you know, like telling a mother.
The connection we have, the feelings we see in each other, the reactions I feel.
Fighting for you when everyone else in your family don't want y'all to be together. You know, just certain things. Like with her, you know, she told her mom kicked her out, you know, but she still was with me, knowing that if she was with a man, you know, all that stress would just go right away.
It's not that easy to read people. Like, you think you know somebody and then you don't. So, I mean, the only way to tell is through time. You know what I mean? They're bound to slip up and then that's it. That's ball game.
Of course. I believe you're gay until proven innocent or straight, honestly.
With a straight relationship, a man is always taught, don't put your hands on a woman. So many men, it's really not that prevalent like in the gay community where you have two women and where a lot of estrogen going and, you know, that time of the month and we catfighting all the time. I know in my relationships, oh man.
Do I find there's more violence? I think it's just about equal. It's just that on the gay side, it's not reported as much as straight couples. But it happens. I mean, I've lost 3 friends to domestic violence in a gay relationship.
No, I don't feel like there's more violence in same-sex relationships. There's violence in heterosexual relationships just as much as it's in homosexual relationships. Like, I feel like it's the same.
I don't know. I don't deal with violent relationships. If I feel I gotta bust your ass, I'm not gonna be with you for long. So, now I think violence happens in all relationships with you know, where folks are that angry with each other that you can't control your tempers anymore, where you just want to do that. That happens in any relationship, whether it be heterosexual or gay.
Maybe. I mean, we go back to society. It's pretty, I mean, at least nowadays, it's pretty unacceptable for a male to hit a female. I mean, people do it, but it's pretty frowned upon. But everybody pretty much saying, like, a female does something that disrespects another female, there's no rule there. Like, you know, you can't hit a female? Like, because you are one. So, you know, I mean, the only thing I would venture to say is that I was in a relationship where a little hitting took place, and it was kind of like I actually, you know, like I mean, the person that I was with and me, like, the emotions in it like the person actually cared enough to actually change.
So how about a male, a feminine male walking through the hood?
Niggas
No
not
good.
rock.
No good. No good. Emphatically. Emphatically. Not any borough of New York. Emphatically now, Cypher.
You know why?
I'm in total disagreement with that, man. Get that on tape. Put that one down. Emphatically now, Cypher.
And for the record, emphatically non-cipher means that's a no-no. It means no.
I gotta admit, I'm a little homophobic with men. The more flamboyant ones, you know what I mean? I kind of like, it's kind of a turn off for me. Like, I don't want to be around a dude who's acting like a girl, and I don't like for a man to greet me, you know, because I deal with clothes. I make clothes, so I deal with fashion, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're a man, shake my hand. Don't do those little feminine nuances that a woman would do, because I'm not going to respond to it. I'm going to feel insulted, because it's like now you're forcing it on me. You know what I mean? It's just like the young lady over there, I said, you know, your dress looks nice. And she was like, and I want to see a girl say that. But if I go, you know, to a dude and I'm like, yo, that's a nice shirt, man. I want to hear him say, good looking, fam. I want him to go, because that's going to make me mad.
Man, motherfuckers feel uncomfortable.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's
it's like,
But why does who someone sleep with make you feel uncomfortable? Has any of y'all ever been hit on by a male? Let's be honest.
Nah.
So if you've never been hit on by a male, why are you so uncomfortable?
Let's not lie. We made clothes. We've had moments.
Women tend to be more accepted being gay. Guys, you know, oh yeah, that's sexy, that looks good, you know, but to men, I think that they go through a lot more than we do.
Most guys love to see two girls or a guy and two girls go at it, but to see two guys go at it is just, it's nasty, grossed out. So they say. So they say.
I think people accept women more than men. I think for the men, they look at it as a sexual, physical thing, which they can't comprehend, instead of looking at it as love. Women, that's men's fantasy, two women together, so it's definitely a double standard.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Anything you want,
You
sis.
just finished saying you call gay men chumps, and you also said y'all real men. So you think that a gay man is not a real man?
In my opinion, no. No, they're not a real man. No, because in the question itself, real man. Now we already know how things are meant to be, and that's not the way things are meant to be. You understand me? That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I got a lot of supporters behind that. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So no, I don't consider that to be a real man. Not at all.
Yeah, not in our culture, man.
Of course not.
Not in
of
our
course
culture.
not. And the thing about it is like, all right, how's that a real man? Like a man and a man raising a child? That's civilized?
I mean, we can go even there. I don't. No, hell no, no.
So what is civilized?
Civilized is the black man
and the black woman raising that black child. That's civilized. You know what I'm saying? That's civilized.
Exactly.
That's civilized.
Woman child.
You know what I'm saying? See, the black man is the father. You understand me? To the universal family, just like the sun is to the solar system.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want to see a statistic done or a study done on like the amount of like single parents that raise children as well, because that's the other thing. They're like two males can't raise children. I'm like, how many like single mothers or single fathers are like raising their kids on their own?
So to flip that, you
Mhm.
said a gay male is not a real man.
That's what I said.
A gay woman is not a real woman.
A gay woman is not a real woman.
Call him on that.
No, it's cool. We talking about bisexual. We talking about mask, femme. What are we talking about? Because I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like as far as I'm concerned, and I'm strong behind this. Two females to me, I all day. It's okay. What you say? I can dig it.
It's more acceptable for a woman to kind of go back and forth than it is for a dude to go back and forth. It's like a dude goes back and that's it. You went back. You never come forth again. I think that's a society thing. You know what I mean? And I mean, I've adapted some of society's opinions when it comes to that. it's messed up. Like I said earlier, I'm a hypocrite. so a lot of stuff, you know, like I can't justify something that I know, you know, like we think from two minds, and I can't justify it with my higher mind. With my higher mind, it says, okay, if women do that and a man does that, then it's the same thing, you know what I mean? But on the level of my experiences in life and what I've been through, I can't accept it. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's like I agree to be wrong. Like I'm gonna accept that wrongness about myself, and I'm not gonna change it just because.
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I don't feel the female is right either, man. And the reason, and I got my daughter, and when I raise my daughter, I really don't want her with another female to be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel the same way with men and women and women.
For women, it's like it's encouraged especially by men. Yeah. You know, and I think if a man is curious, he'll hide it and be on what we call the down low.
We're looking specifically at the Latino and African American community. Those are communities that are not traditionally accepting of gay individuals.
I mean, I see a lot of people, and I've heard a lot of different rumors, you know what I mean, from different entertainers, from dudes that I know in the street that they come home and they really wild, but there was a rumor, like somebody said, that, like how do you come home from jail with braids, you know? Like I've been to prison and I had braids when I went to prison and I cut them off. And all I did was 6 months. So if you did 5 years and your hair is like twice as long as it was before you went in, who was doing your hair?
If you over here somewhere, man, you up north, you just down the third and you doing this, man, and then you come home and you deal with a sister who has no idea about what you're doing, I have a problem with that. Cause you come up pulling the wool over her eyes. So now she dumb, deaf, and blind to what you doing. And God forbid, man, she go with a real dude, you know what I'm saying, such as all the brothers you see right here, man, every last one of us. You know what I'm saying, you come across one of us, and now it's an iffy situation, man, because you done dealt with a chump, you know what I'm saying? So, in one aspect of it, I prefer you to be that way and all the way like that. I don't want you to be dipping and diving, man, from world to world. You understand what I'm saying? I can't stomach that.
I've dated somebody who was gay, and I didn't know for 6 months. I had no idea.
A lot of it goes on. That's the thing. I think a lot with men, as opposed to women, there's more so of an unspoken truth, especially with men who've been in the penal system. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where most of what I've seen, like far as those type of experiences, that's where it's come from.
Not every person who is engaging in same-sex sexual behavior identifies as gay.
I don't agree with brothers who are on the down low, as you call it, because it's like you live in a lie. And you hurting a lot of people. There's some guys that have wife and kids, and and sneaking around with another dude. You know what I mean? And it's not even safe.
I think that the down low community does help spread the infection of HIV and AIDS. I don't want to base it primarily on them because there are straight men that are working around giving this disease to their female.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who said it per se. But I'm pretty sure that I know a lot of down low brothers.
I mean, multiple times my parents have said, I want you to like grow up, I want to have grandkids, I want you to marry a guy, and I don't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, I can do what I want to do, but I don't want my daughter to be gay.
So how would you respond if your daughter ends up
I would have to work with it. I would have to work with it and let her build with me. And let her work with me telling me that she's gay. If she was to become gay, she would have to work with me and tell me and explain to me why and so forth. But I just hope not. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But if my daughter was to be gay, right, I wouldn't take nothing from her, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you wouldn't love her any less.
I wouldn't love her any less. I still love her the same, you know what I'm saying?
That's just it.
And if that's what she do, that's what she do. Right. My stepmom's is gay, you know what I'm saying?
Right. My mother's gay. My mother's been gay since I can remember. I mean, I'm pretty sure she wasn't gay before I met her. but since I can remember.
My mom is actually gay. I remember the day, actually like it was yesterday, when my mom told me. She came out to me, and I think she expected me to look at her different and I didn't. I think it's probably because of how young I was. It was just like, my mother, I'm gonna love you regardless of who you like or whatever the case may be. So it didn't bother me, and it took a while for her actually to show her relationships, like people she dealt with.
See, the thing about her is that my mother is such a woman that you don't look at her and say, that's a gay woman. You know what I'm saying? It's really more about the woman that she's with. When you see the woman that she's with, then you can kind of tell, like, yo, and they be like, and there was times I used to lie because all her women look like me. You know what I'm saying? They all be dark skinned with curly hair. So I'd be like, yo, that's my aunt. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, whoever's around me would be like, yo, that's your mom's, like, this your mom's sister? They don't look like sisters. I'm like, yo, my mom gay, man. You know what I'm saying? That's my mom's lover or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's just embarrassing. It was embarrassing sometimes, yeah.
The only time it actually has any effect on me is with others. Because in school, when you get into arguments and stuff like that, people like to throw oh yeah, your mother's gay.
It helped me define myself, tell you the truth, and know how to carry myself. Because I knew that I didn't agree with a certain lifestyle, but I knew that I was not a man. I knew I was never like, I always liked being understanding. A big part of my mother being gay, my father was her first. You know what I'm saying? Before I really got to understand that people are born that way and all the different details, part of me blamed my father. I was like, Dad, you treated her so fucked up that now she want to be with women. So I used to sit there and just listen to women talk, because I used to be like, Dad, how do I be a good dude?
I actually openly tell people, like, oh yeah, my mom is gay. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. It might make other people uncomfortable being around her sometimes, but I don't care. I
was more uncomfortable with just the aspect of somebody else in my father's role.
Sometimes a strong female, they be thinking like they men and shit, like they could beat somebody up and shit. I be like, relax that shit a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? But other than that, I respect their craft and what they trying to do for themselves. But other than that, man, trying to act like a man, I feel like, you're not a man, just chill out.
One of the things me and my mother had a big argument about, I have 3 daughters, and I kind of said to her, I don't want her to conduct herself a certain way in front of my daughters, because I want them to have a fair chance. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to anybody, but I kind of felt like, growing up, them seeing a certain level of intimacy between her and her lover, you know what I'm saying? It would make it seem like it's okay. So it's like, where do they get a chance to identify it for themselves?
I don't like going to my mother's house. I keep it real with you, because the kind of company that my mother keeps at her crib, I tell her, like, when I'm coming for Thanksgiving or if I'm coming over, I want to be with you and kind of like you by yourself. I even had, honestly, I've had issues with her dealing with my child, because I'm like, I want my child to have a classic upbringing. You know what I mean? I want her to know the role of the father, the role of the mother, and I don't want my child to be confused before they. If my daughter comes of age, like my oldest daughter's 18. My son is 12. If he comes of age and that's a decision he makes personally, then that's a decision he makes personally. But I would never say if my personal choice was to be a certain way. I wouldn't expose that to my son or my daughter, because me being their father, based on that, they're going to choose. Like, I might have more than one girlfriend, but I'm not going to show that to my daughter, because psychologically, she might go for a dude that's a player, that messes with more than one girl. So I show her the classic example of a father. It's me and you, and if a woman comes into my life, this is one woman that I plan on marrying. I won't even let my daughter meet a girl unless I'm, in my heart, I'm like, yo, I might marry this chick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to show her every girl that I date or go to lunch with. So it would be the same thing with my personal lifestyle. And I think the same thing goes for somebody that's lesbian or gay. Keep your personal lifestyle to yourself and allow your child to come into their own on their own naturally, because you want to be a certain way based on what your father showed you. You want to be a certain way based on what your mother showed you. So I try to give them classic examples of what a father and what a mother should be. You know what I'm saying?
Just because my mom is gay doesn't mean I'm gonna be gay. We are born who we are, pretty much. We have our own individuality.
So let me ask you this: since you say that you want to be with your parents, the picture of what your parents put out for you. How does 2 heterosexual parents raise a gay child?
That's
me being in performing arts schools and in dance companies, for the most part, if I'm gonna be with a guy or hanging with a male, for the most part, he's going to be gay. Most dancers are gay. Not to say all, but most of them are.
I remember I told my dad I wanted to be a dancer. I meant a break dancer. You know what I'm saying? But he took it as a dancer, what? And he took my Michael Jackson doll and he broke the nigga in half and threw him out the window. You know what I'm saying? So I never danced again. So it traumatized me. For real.
And my father didn't like that. He thought that he actually really thinks that had a big influence on me. You know, so like I tell him, well, me, then what you think, you know, what influenced her? But
I am my biggest
that's neither here nor
influence.
there. But yeah, there was one point where, you know, they would come in the house and they would be like, "Hi, Mr. Richardson," and he would not say a word, and that was so embarrassing.
Or when they would leave, his favorite word was
fucking faggot or something like that. That's just a phrase that I use to sort of slap my daughters in the face with. They don't like me to say faggot. They want me to use their terminology. Now, they're the ones that decided they wanted to be lesbians. I decided that I wanted to say fucking faggot. It was nothing negative to the gay world or anything like that. It was just my way of slapping them in the face.
And we used to be like, can you stop? Like, we really used to get mad at that. Like, conversation, I didn't even want to talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, faggot, you can't find another word. You don't know that faggot. But it was funny to him. It was funny to him at first. And how funny is it that both his daughters is gay now?
So what's the flip side? What if niggas had a son that was ho? I'll tell you right now.
Honestly,
I
that's
will punch my son in the chest
that's
so
hard
many
to
times.
handle. That's rough. That's rough. That's rough.
It'll be hard. It'll be hard. It'll be hard.
You know what I'm saying?
But at the end of the day,
that's
at
something
the
that
end of
you
the
fall
at the end of the day,
exactly
you
you
still be
fall.
your son.
So now that got you
still be
questioning
your
yourself,
son.
man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. Yo, where did I go wrong
Where did I
here,
go
man?
wrong? See, now you understand.
I didn't take it for no
Exactly,
games.
yo.
Like, what I
That's hard to deal with,
But
man.
at the end
That's
of
hard
the
to
day,
deal with, yo.
the nigga's still your son.
At the
Of course.
But I done seen shows where
niggas done left their son like on some.
I've seen that. I've
Like,
seen
yo,
that.
check this out. I disown him, yo.
I'm afraid to come out to my family because they grew up different generation, all that. But with my friends, it's completely fine.
It's interesting because there are some young people who come to our program who have known all of their life that they're gay or lesbian or bisexual. There are others who have struggled with their sexual orientation, who have come out to their parents, and because there is no acceptance, they're thrown out into the street. They have to live a life of homelessness. Sometimes they have to be involved in drug use, or they're involved in survival sex. And so there are some serious struggles. There's a lot of mental health issues that are connected sometimes with a young person who is not accepted by their family.
I idolize this dude, you know what I'm saying? I know that he's gay, and his name is Papa Tunde, and he's Papa Tunde, you know what I'm saying? He acts just like that, but he's a cool dude. And he don't try to project what he is, you know what I'm saying? His handshakes is a little feminine, but that's all. He don't try to overdo it and make you feel where he's coming from. You know what I'm saying? And there's probably a lot of dudes that's gay that dress just like me, dress with the Timbs and they baggy pants and all that, and that's cool. That's what you do in the bed. But you shouldn't bring what you do in the bed outside in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not walking down the street going,
Yes, I can understand why people are homophobic. Simply because it depends on how you were raised.
My mother, she was like the ultimate homophobe.
Honestly, I felt though as if I saw homophobia around me since I was young.
She tries to get me to counseling, try to have them put me on medication. Put me on anti-homo pills.
There were always people cracking jokes, making fun of two men, you know, oh, look at that faggot walking on the street, look at that queer, ew, you know, stuff like that. And even your family.
People fear what they don't know, and because the society has made it such a taboo, some people are afraid to inquire more, feeling that they may be considered to be in the community or want to be part of the community and not just want the knowledge.
I don't think I'm different compared to straight people. I'm still a man.
I'm just gay.
I've never really gravitated towards the gay men. You know what I mean? That was always something that I just kind of, I didn't like. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, see, and the thing is, when I say a gay man, a lot of times I gotta use that word, I talk about faggots. Faggots. I'm comfortable using the word faggot because it's like a derogatory term, how I regard certain dudes. Like, I guess it's homosexuals who I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess some people say black men, but then they'll say niggas. You know what I mean? Then I might say lesbian, but then I'll say dyke if I'm mad, like, yo, that dyke chick. You know what I'm saying? I can tell there's some hostility towards it when I say that. Or if I go, that faggot ass nigga. Sometimes he might not even be a faggot. I'm just like, you faggot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's really a derogatory statement. Because I have people that I work with in the fashion industry that they're gay. And I refer to them as, yo, you know the gay dude? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I refer to them. So I think I really use it as slander, and I'm not justifying it. I don't think it's appropriate, but I'm being honest.
What's the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the word gay?
Faggot.
We are not where we are culturally and sensitivity when it comes to the LGBTQ community. Even as far as people using the proper language. I have made it my life's passion to educate young people about the proper terminology, using the right terms, about communicating to others and not using the F word.
Like my little brother, you know, I hear him say a lot of gay, homophobic things, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's so gay, or he was a faggot, you know, and I try to instill in him, like, you have somebody close to you who is gay. So know that every time you say something like that, it affects you.
There are many different ways in which LGBT people experience homophobia, including malicious gossip, name-calling, intimidating looks, internet bullying, vandalism and theft of property, discrimination at work, isolation and rejection, sexual assault, or even being sentenced to death. All forms of homophobia are destructive, not just for people living openly as LGBT, but for society as a whole.
A lot of people don't like same sexes to be together. I mean, people really hate it, you know.
As a gay guy, I can't understand how some people is homophobic because I have experienced you know, in my high school, some gay boys, like, I think they do it like too much. Like, they could be extra annoying at times. Like, they are really loud. And it's like, it drills unnecessary attention to themselves. And I feel like you don't have to be that way. You feel me? Like, you just be yourself. Like, you don't have to make it known and let everybody know your business. But you can still be comfortable with yourself, so.
As a gay person, can I understand why people are homophobic? Sure I can. I mean, you have all types of gay people that's out there, but the most of the kind that they actually exploit on TV are the ones that are very flamboyant, sashaying, as you can say, rude, obnoxious, boys who really want to be girls, and I think that's part where the homophobic part comes in.
That shit just don't rock.
Like, be who you is in your own time. Like, you don't have to over broadcast it. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of that's going on, man.
Yeah.
Speak on it, God. A lot of that's going on,
yeah,
man.
if you gay, you gay, man. Like that's it, man. But all that feminine, wilding out with all that other shit, man. Relax, man. Chill out, man. Get money and chill, man.
But let me ask you this.
What's up?
Now, you said be you on your own time. Is that what you just said?
Yes, I did.
Aren't you supposed to be you at all times?
I think that straight people try to overcompensate as well. Like, I see men try to be too manly, or even if it's a guy who's not as manly, like, you know, it's a competition within them to see who's stronger, this and that. And if a guy seems a little bit weaker, then he has to be like gay or something like that. And it's like a battle of who's the best and who's stronger. And the same thing with females, who has on the best shoes, who's gonna attract the most men, who's the prettiest, whatever. It's just, yeah, the same thing.
Some dudes are so homophobic that you think like they overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never be on no, yo, you walk by, fucking faggot. He's not doing nothing to you though. Let him be a faggot. Like, I be happy in a way, 'cause I'm like, dag, more him, more for me. Like, I don't have no problem with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, fine. I'd rather see a faggot walk by me than 3 motherfuckers in black hoodies looking at, I'm gonna take your chain, take your watch, kill you. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's give or take.
Jumped since I was 11.
Like, I've never been beat up because of it. I've lost a lot of friends.
I've been gay bashed plenty of times, especially being an AG, an aggressor. I deal with a lot of negative responses from people out there in the world. It's kind of hurtful, you know what I mean?
It's hard, women and men. I've known women that have gotten jumped, stabbed, shot.
Never physical, never physical. I would hate for the day that somebody tried to violate me like that.
Well, almost every gay guy I've ever met has a story about getting beat up.
Dewan Prince, I knew him pretty well. I don't know if anybody out there probably know who'd been beat up in Brooklyn, out in Brooklyn, pretty bad. So yeah, it's pretty painful.
I swear to God, I hate for that day. I don't know. I really don't think that ever happened to me. I don't know. Why do people get gay bashed and just like, how you gonna get pushed around in the street? Like, I wish somebody would fucking try to push me around in the street. Is you out here? That shit is crazy.
I had a friend that I went to college with, and her family found out that she was gay, and literally they kicked her out of the house and beat her down.
This guy has literally thrown gasoline at me, has set my car on fire. I've had to go through 4 cars in the last 3 years. Threw a rock at me, split part of my, hair open. I don't know, I have so much makeup on, you can't even see the scar. Took a bat to my face, pistol whipped me. And I've called the police so many times. And finally, after they realized that he tried to set my house on fire, now he's in jail.
It's just sad that people have so much hate in them or fear that they would do that to another human being.
I mean, dare me to say something so I can get 7 years.
Yeah, because that hate crime is also crazy too with that shit, man. So you know what I'm saying?
But that's why they doing it now, is because, you know what I'm saying, they don't, you know what I'm saying, they're only looking at it from their point of view, like, oh, they the victim. You don't know what these motherfuckers be doing. Like, sometimes they force themselves on people. I mean, they think you want them. You don't want them.
And the problem is with that shit, it's like, you know what I mean, with the real niggas out here, you know what I'm saying, if they try to come kick it to you and shit, and a nigga punch them in their shit, we get a hate crime.
I found myself being attracted to men around 5 years old.
You know what I want to know? How do you feel them feelings? Like, at 5 years old.
What were you thinking about?
How do you know at 5 years old that you
know what I want
that you are gay, or do you feel that way?
How do you know? Children engage in a variety of sexual play experience while very young. Play becomes increasingly covert as the child ages and becomes more aware of cultural norms.
I really didn't know what it was, but I just knew everything about me was not normal. I can't speak for my sister.
For me, when I just look back at just how I was acting and things that I didn't understand, yes, I would definitely say that. I always was, I just didn't realize it.
I definitely say that I was born this way, but it took me a very long time to realize. It's sort of double consciousness that you have for a very long time that you just sort of bottle up, in my case at least, what I was, who I am. And then when you recognize that and embrace it, it's this incredibly liberating thing. Do I believe that it's natural? Of course, it's how I was born. It just took me a while to figure out that that's what I was.
The way you love a woman, you didn't choose to love a woman as a straight man. You're straight.
I've always known that I was gay, but acting upon it solidified the feeling. It made it so that it wasn't just a
Yeah, on some level I see myself as being different, but most of my friends are actually gay, so on that level I feel like I blend in with them, but I go to a different school than all my friends, so I'm like the only gay person that I know in the classroom. So that's really weird.
I'm not comfortable coming out in certain places depending on who I'm with.
I didn't really have a chance to come out. Like, I didn't really think I needed to come out. I don't understand why gay people have to come out. Like, straight people don't come out and say, hey, I'm straight.
I can't remember what age.
I don't think she just came out. It was just one day a girl was at my house and my mother was just like, like, really, Julie?
And it was Thanksgiving, to be exact.
And I saw it coming with Julie, and kind of like gave her a little heads up. Didn't care too much for the person because I seen something Julie didn't see. But she just came right out with it.
Everybody automatically started assuming, okay, she's hanging with this girl. Who's this girl she's spending all her time with? This and that, you know. And they were all, nobody was saying nothing, but you know, you get the looks like my family, like, you know, who's this person always around?
I got to a point where I was dating boys to make my family happy. I was being seen with my my homegirls or girlfriends, and they would be out or they would be a little bit more masculine than most people I would know, and it would give me a 50-50 look. I got tired of always having to have the questions or answer the questions. Well, why does your friend look like this? Or why do you hang out with them? Or do you think this is okay? Or do you think that's all right? And then I made a decision to go into the entertainment industry, and I didn't want to sing things that didn't really mean. I didn't want to sing or put out music that didn't mean anything to me. I didn't want to feel as though I could not be proud of who I am and what I was.
I know it's not a smart move, but I was busted in my room by my father. I was very uncomfortable, but he took it better than what I thought, so I'm proud of Papa for that. But yeah, and he just told me that he wasn't going to tell my mother.
So when he told me about what he had actually witnessed, it was very disturbing to me because I took the young girl in as family.
I had to let her know. And then he had asked me, so, you know, what's the deal? Am I into females? I'm into males. And I had to tell him, like, I'm into females.
My daughter's father was always a little wary of the girl. Like, you know, even before we were dating, he just never liked her because he seen that she was gay. He would pick me up from work and things like that. And he would just always be like, you know, why is she always around you? This and that. So finally one day we're on the computer and I wrote to him and I was like, I'm gay. And like 20 minutes later, he was at my mother's door, trying to break down the door, going crazy, this and that. My mother's sleeping. So, you know, we're laughing and we're, you know, trying to get rid of him, and he's acting all crazy. Mind you, we're not together, but he's like, oh no, you know, I guess in the back of his mind, we are together. So he's like, are you serious? Are you joking? Don't play like that, this and that. But he doesn't know that she's there and she's sitting on the couch. So he's like trying to bang on the door to wake up my mom and this and that. So my mom, not knowing, comes out the room. So she come out the room and she just see his little hand in the door. I want to talk to you, I want to talk to you. So she, of course, you know, opens the door for him, you know, because they're cool. So she's like, what's going on? So he goes to talk to her and he looks around my mom and he sees my girlfriend sitting on the couch. So he like moves my mom out the way and tries to fight my girlfriend. So we're in the house and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. My sister is holding my girlfriend back. I jump in the middle because he swung, and I was like, I'm not gonna let him hit her. My mom's pulling him back. And mind you, my mom just had surgery, so she's trying to hold him back. And then he was just like, did you know she was gay? And you got her in the house, and blah, blah, blah. My mom's like, well, I didn't know that. It's news to me, too. I thought they were just friends.
And we're talking back and forth, and she asked me, like, you like girls? I didn't think anything of it at the time, because to me, it was like, you know, we young. Yes, I like girls, I like boys. To me, it was whatever. Because again, to like boys made the blow a little softer than to say, no, I just like girls. And it was funny because she was just like, ew, I knew it. Like, it started a whole thing on the bus because I was in a bus full of girls and maybe the ratio was like 25 to 75, 25 boys to the 75% girls. So it was like, it made it uncomfortable for me to be on this bus for 6 months with my classmates, and now one person knows, so of course she told everybody.
She was actually like, for real? Hey, Joy, you got busted? Joy, you did something? You got busted? You got in trouble?
They were like, oh, we don't want to have lunch with her. We don't want to be on a bus with her. She should ride in front with the boys. I ate it. No pun intended.
My brother.
Oh,
our
our
oldest brother.
Yeah, he for a minute he did. Wow, yeah. For a minute he kept his distance for a minute, and then I don't know at what occasion he cried to her, and then after they spoke, I guess he got everything out he wanted to say, how he was feeling, how he preferred us with men as well. But he's come a long way.
I didn't have the pleasure of sitting down with my parents and having one of those PBS specials, hey mom, you know. I didn't have one of those conversations. Someone else happened to see me engage in a PDA, public display of affection, with another female, and they told my grandmother. She asked me if I liked girls. And I generalized it as, yes, I like girls. I have a whole bunch of homegirls. I do cheerleading, I do music, I do everything. And she got real specific and was like, no, I mean, do you like girls the way you like boys? And I took a moment. That was the hardest decision I've ever made in my life, because I had to decide if I wanted to actually tell my grandmother this. And not only that, but was I at a point where I could say, I only like girls, I don't really like guys. And I always knew it on the inside, but having to actually say it is something completely different. Like, putting it into the universe is completely different. So when I finally had a chance and I told her, you know, I like both. That was my cop-out. It was hard. Like, I can't lie. She cursed me out for about a whole 45 minutes. And every family member that came in the house after that proceeded to ridicule me as well. I got to a point where I just couldn't do it anymore, and I moved. I didn't look at the take on my life aspect. I looked at I have to get out of here. This is not gonna work. I know what I want to do, and I'm not gonna change it. And sooner or later, they'll understand. And sure enough, it took my grandmother about 6 years, but now she's at a point where she'll be like, oh, you need a haircut, you need to shape up. Or she'll be like, that shirt looks nice on you. Like, she'll throw little things in there to say that, you know, I accept you. I don't really accept everyone, but I accept you.
I've been working with LGBT youth for over 13 years now. But in recent years, we have definitely seen a lot of young people who are dealing with suicidal ideation. Those are the thoughts of harming themselves. And, you know, when you ask them, why do you want to harm yourself? It's because they're not being accepted from their family, their friends, by the media, by society. We live in a society where even in music videos or on TV, in a magazine, that there are words that are used, there are terms that are derogatory, there are terms that are blatantly homophobic and transphobic. And when we look at that, it's not just about a fear of, you know, gay individuals or transgender individuals. It's about hatred. It's about hatred of a community. It's about hatred of an individual. It's about hatred of a sexual behavior. And the young people that I've worked with, they want to be open. They want to be out of the closet. They want to be proud of who they are. But if they are living in a world where they don't feel free to be who they are, then the only way that they can feel free sometimes is to end their lives, because they can no longer live in the isolation. They can no longer live in a world where people say, oh, yeah, there's tolerance. There really isn't that much tolerance. We've come a long way in the community, but we are not where we need to be.
Can any of you see yourself being cool with a gay man? All right.
Wow.
I live in a very religious house. You know, my grandmother is Baptist. Family is very religious.
I teach Sunday school, so I took my time to learn the Bible and to understand it for myself.
I don't believe it's a sin to be gay. I think that God loves all his kids.
God is in your heart.
My divine understanding with God is something that, you know, most people that are against homosexuality won't really understand.
They think that who I am and what I like is like a demon or the devil, or, you know, just crazy stuff like that.
Fear of not getting to heaven? I mean, I don't know, I never thought of it. Where am I gonna go? I don't know. Hello. Not even worry about it.
Who gives you the right to judge me?
Actually, I thought about a conversation I had a while ago with this guy. He was saying, he was like, well, you've never been with a guy before, so how about you try it, and then you might fall in love and stuff. So I'm like, it's so funny that sleeping with somebody out of wedlock is also a sin. So people will prefer for me to commit another sin to not do one sin that's not favored by, you know what I mean? So just whatever sin is favored by most, you know what I mean? And I had a conversation with my mother about it because I grew up in the church and stuff like that. So sometimes those things play in my head like, oh, am I going to hell because of this? I'm like, damn, I'm a good person and stuff like that, and this is my attraction. So I was like, Ma, I said, so Ma, if I was straight, that means I'll be perfect, right? Because she's like really into the church stuff. So she was like, no. She said because she said really we all sin. You know what I mean? So if it's not one thing, it'll be another thing. You know, like but you'll never be perfect. You know, I do acknowledge that it is frowned upon in the Bible, but so many other things.
And I'm like, but you know, like. You're just doing it because it's a fad, like it's catching on, and that's what they think it is. It's just something to do to them that they don't really understand what it is or what they want to do. Like that, people take that seriously, you know.
I actually think that we have to count our blessings. It's a bit ugly, and you know, it's a little bit seedy, but it actually may help in the end. You know, seeing that those women might not wake up every day next to women and again live life. But they are making it clear that straight women that will live straight lives, have kids, marry, are also capable of loving women. That hopefully men can get to that point. There's some boys out there think it's cute to kiss their friends.
I think that to a certain extent, sexuality probably be fluid, and that you could be attracted to both. You know what I'm saying? It's just what is your attraction rooted in? You know what I mean? Because like in general, my attraction to people in general is not sexual. You know what I'm saying? Like I have my business partner and my brother, we get off the phone, he's like, yo, I love you, son. I love you too, you know what I'm saying? We've had days, times where we cried in front of each other. We gave each other like big hugs, you know what I'm saying? And I really love the dude, you know what I'm saying? But that's as far as it goes.
Well, you're speaking to a psychiatrist here. So I think that women are much more fluid in their sexuality. I deal a lot with, I actually have a practice that is mostly gay lesbian. I live in Seattle, as I told you. And I think a lot of women are just more open about the fluidity of their sexuality. I think women, I don't know if you know about Kinsey, the Kinsey figures in terms of, describing heterosexuality to homosexuality. A lot of people are bi. And I think that a lot of people have difficulty admitting that in our culture, but that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. I think just women are much more open about admitting that. And so there are a lot more straight women who are willing to admit they have homosexual leanings. When you get into much more liberal cultures, I think you find that's true with guys as well.
To me, it seems like it's being packaged and marketed. You know what I'm saying? I think it seems like homosexuality in the media right now is being packaged and marketed a certain way. Marketing, something like it's a certain way. Just down to little billboards. Billboards got two dudes hugging each other with the fitted on, and they got the little HIV thing under it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's really being pushed out there. So but then again, I do know. See, it's a conflict, and one thing I'm good at being is objective and kind of honest. I know that I'm kind of like fucked up in the head. Like I'm kind of homophobic. So I know that I'm being like mad judgmental based on it being something that I don't approve of in my own right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something I approve of. You know what I mean? So when I see it in different, like marketing ads and just the kind of stuff that I see on television, I just think it's overdone.
I think media, maybe not politics, but I think media controls everything. Media makes the world go round, and how if they place you in this category, you get placed in that category.
It's not that sexual preference alone. It's the over-sexualizing of media in general that gets me sick. You know what I'm saying? I just want kids to have a chance to see the common basics, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not insulting what anybody does outside of the basics, but we all got here through a father and a mother. You know what I'm saying? Let them understand that. Let them understand, father, mother, and if you want to step outside that, fine, step outside that. And there's room and there's people who can explain to you how you're feeling, but don't introduce it to something like as the what do you call it? The trendy new thing to do.
I think the lack of knowledge is not us not going out there and letting people know what we're about. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I really want to participate in this, because I want people to realize what it is to be gay.
I think it's our responsibility to get out and educate.
Wow, that's a really deep question.
I think that it's an environment, period. I think it involves everyone for, you to accept things, you have to be exposed to it. If you're not exposed to it, then you're not going to like it. You might have a bias towards it, or you might not understand it at all.
Honestly, you can't really blame someone. Like, you can't really point a finger to that. I just feel like it's just ignorance across the board. Like, I can't blame someone's mother. I can't blame someone's father, because who did they learn from, and who did they learn from, and who did they learn from? So you can't really like pick a person. I just feel like it's honestly, people's minds are differently. Everyone's mind operates differently, and your mind is a tape. So if you never recorded anything, you're not gonna understand it. You're not gonna have any thought of it whatsoever, because you never recorded it in your tape. So if your tape is passed down to someone else, you got the same recording. So you can't really have an idea of what it is because you never recorded it.
Oh, society in America, because government, schools, what your parents think or whatever, they're all influenced by what's acceptable in society and whether they care to be like going with the grain or against the grain as individuals. And so in general, society has really pushed a lot of ideas that put men in power, put men in positions where morally they have like kind of the right to make the moral rules. And not even just men, but straight people, just like whatever has been the norm, they're the ones that get to set the norm. And so therefore, if throughout history what's been acceptable, I mean, besides like going back to like ancient Greek and Roman times, you know what I'm saying? Like in America, if you go back in history, like what's been acceptable, that's gonna kind of set the base for our history. It's gonna set the base for our standard of normalcy. And so I really don't think that it's too many people's fault. I just kind of think that's how this country was built.
What y'all feel about the whole gay marriage thing?
It don't rock to me. Me personally, the gay marriage do not rock to me. I do not think gay people should be getting married. It should be man and woman.
Why can't gay couples be married? Why can't, that's like saying, you know, it's not about love.
They're not inviting you to the wedding. So at what point will it not matter to you anymore? What do we have to do? What is it that you have to accept within yourself for it to be okay?
We don't have the rights that straight people have. There's 1,324 rights that are denied by gay couples that straight couples have.
I'm gonna be honest, I do believe in gay marriage. It is important to me because I feel if two people love each other and they want to be with each other, that they should be able to get married and stay with each other without the prejudice in the world and everybody telling them that they can't be happy.
Well, I was in the Navy for a little bit, and the issue that I had in the Navy is I thought about it. I thought about if my girlfriend gets sick, you know what I'm saying, or if my girlfriend has a child or something like that, I can't come back home. You know, I can't come home and say, okay, well, what's wrong? Because in the Navy, I'm single. You know, and that's another thing. Like, you know, the biggest thing is like you could be with somebody for so long, and be with a girl for so long, and you never feel established. You never feel like there's a sense of like, if I die, she will be okay, you know.
If I get married to another female right now, I have great health benefits. I don't know if she can get on my plan.
You know, just last night the girls were telling me that they finally decided that they want to go and get married, and they have to go to Massachusetts to do it. And they want me and my boyfriend to go and be witnesses, which we're very happy to do. But then once they come home to New Jersey where they live, then they're not technically married in their own home. They drive 6 hours away to have a ceremony that all of their friends are very excited to be part of, and then they come home and they're technically not married. They have some kind of, what is it? Civil domestic partnership. What is that? I don't understand why there has to be these differences. So I wish that all that could change.
You need a mother and father. Like, who's gonna teach that boy how to play football? I do not feel that shit. Who's gonna teach that boy how to play football? No. You know what I'm saying?
Who teaches a boy how to play football when it's just a single mother?
Sounding what's the name for that to be
a young
illegal?
man still learns how to be a man, right?
Well, I guess maybe on his own
In
time.
some aspects, because you do got uncles and you but you have a male influence, man. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like a single parent, a single woman. Let's not forget, she got brothers. She got a father. So the child does have a male influence. So where he's going with this is that with two women, there's no male influence on that. You understand what I'm saying? Right. If so, but it starts in the house.
But
it starts the foundations in the house.
Speaking, what if the uncle don't condone? You know what I'm saying? What if the family separated because that couple was gay? They got married, so they didn't really have no family. It was just two women raising that boy. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel, you know what I'm saying? That boy needs some type of male figure to show him that masculinity, that, you know, to bring that out of him. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the female could be aggressive.
Even a woman still needs a father. A woman still needs a father. You know what I'm saying? And the son still needs his mom.
How many people are actually raised in like a male and a female household? My family, like, my mother was never around. She was always working, so I was raised by my father. So it's like really unfair. And obviously, ideally, you would love a male, female parent. Yes, in la world. But like these days, like families are so different. And like I think at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the child is loved and taken care of and is happy. Yeah. And so like if you have some qualms about like, oh, he needs a female or a male like role model, you can find that.
If I fall in love with a man and that's what I choose to be with for the rest of my life, it's not going to change the fact that I want children, and I'm going to do it. I mean, luckily I live in America where, you know, and oh wait, now that I think about it, I feel like our country should be like the poster child for accepting the gay community. I was just going to say like America's all free and stuff, but I mean, it'd probably be easier to raise a child in another country now that I think about it. That's enlightening.
The idea behind, you know, having conversations about sexual orientation is to create a sense of normalcy or whatever is normal, right? And what people see as normal or as traditional is a relationship between a man and a woman. And what we need to see is relationships between people. Our greatest sex organ is between our ears, not between our legs. And when two people have a connection and when two people fall in love, they fall in love with each other's minds. They don't fall in love with each other's genitals. And people see sexual orientation, and that's just taking the S out of LGBTQ, as something that is not natural, not normal. But there is nothing that is normal. But if we see relationships as something that is just a connection, it's an energy between individuals, then for me personally, I think that that is just a more beautiful way of seeing relationships. And if we can teach young people that that's what a relationship is, a healthy sexual relationship, I think people would start to think about their life and their sex from a more healthy perspective, and people won't be engaging in such high-risk behaviors.
I feel like just don't bring it towards me.
I go through that a lot with my straight friends, my straight guy friends. And when I bring Manny around, my best friend, because he's a gay guy, and they'll be like, oh, da-da-da, make sure that nigga don't talk to me. I'll be like, what make you think he wants you? Like, excuse you.
I'll come out to someone and say that I'm gay, and they'll be like, girl, you cool, but don't touch me. And I'm like, why do you think I would even want you?
And the biggest misconception that heterosexuals have about lesbians or gay guys is that, oh, they want to sleep with everybody, when it's not true.
They want to ask the straight community, why do you always assume that we want y'all? Would y'all like to answer that question? Why do you assume that a gay man wants you?
I never assumed that a gay man want me unless he approached me on some other shit. You know listen.
Nah, that's some real serious shit.
Yeah, but listen. On some real shit.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? After 2 months horn and I'm a fly nigga. You know what I'm saying? I know when a motherfucker is interested. Male, female, you know what I'm saying? When I see that eye cut, nigga on some shit. I'm like, yo, motherfucker feeling me, man. So it ain't right. So it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So
first impression I get when I tell somebody I'm gay, like straight male or straight female, will be Oh, like, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden they just picture me in like mad orgies or whatever. Like I'll sleep with the first girl I see, or I'll sleep with any guy because I'm bisexual. Oh, you a freak.
That we don't know how to be faithful, be monogamous.
All homosexuals, majority of them have HIV. I think that's a crazy misconception.
That it confuses children. I would say that's the biggest misconception.
They have a tendency to think that gay people that are in love and holding hands and showing affection towards each other, they think it's more sexual, and it's not love. And and it's not that. It's not so.
We don't want to see a fine shorty walking by and she's saying she dating some shorty. We want to try to change that, to change her mind, to get her back to it. Something messed her up to go that way.
I mean, it's not what somebody did to you to make you this way.
That I'm confused. Because we're the same sex, we understand each other.
Straight girls be like, oh, I'm about to get myself a girlfriend, this, that, and the third. No, honey.
The biggest misconception that the straight community has with the gay community or the LGBT community is that we want everyone that we see. I have a plethora of heterosexual friends as far as females, and I can't say that all of our encounters started off smooth. I can say that some of them did, and some of them looked at me as, well, what's the underlying fact? Are you trying to get in my pants? Or are you trying to be cool with me, or what's the situation?
I have more problems from the homosexual community than I do with heterosexual community.
When I'm with the straight community, I feel judged for being with girls, and then when I'm with the gay community, I feel judged for having a past with guys.
Some look at us equal, just a regular person walking on the street, and the other 50% just basically looks at us like a disease or something like just disgusting, and if we touch them, it's gonna rub off on them or something like that.
We work and we go on vacation and we have dogs and a bird and we get up and we fight and we sleep and we have sex, and that's normal. It's what we do.
I would like the straight community to open their hearts and understand that we are so much alike. We're people.
It's not all about partying and bullshit all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I know the gay community is known for, for partying and sexing all day and stuff like that. But I would say for me, and I would say my friends, right, my gay friends, like, it's nothing like that. Like, you know what I mean? We're professionals. We're about our business. We're not in the parties and the clubs trying to, or just tonguing people down in the clubs and sexing in the bathrooms and all that extra shit. Like, everybody's not living like that.
We're just people trying to figure ourselves out, just like there are a bunch of straight girls trying to figure out why they like guys who treat them crappy or whatever the hell. Nobody knows why they like what they like. They just like it.
We just like them.
Any walks of life, you got your freaks and you got your and you have your more conservative people. You know what I mean? So and it's the same thing in the gay community. Everybody's not just wilding out, threesoming it up or orgying it up. Orgy parties and shit. It's not everybody's not doing that all the time, you know what I mean? So I would say that is it's different strokes for different folks in all walks of life.
We are all human, so there shouldn't be any bias about it.
We're no different than heterosexual people.
We're just like them. And like I was saying, we have doctors, lawyers, politicians. Some people are real biased if you're gay, but they don't even know the person you're working with could be gay. And they just need to keep us on the same level. Let us be equal.
It's none of anybody's business how we love or who we love. That's just what goes on in the bedroom.
And we can raise children, you know what I mean, to be healthy, respectful, people who they want to be, you know what I mean? I don't know if I have children, if my daughter or son will turn out to be gay or straight, and they did turn out to be gay or straight, I wouldn't think it's just because of me, because they'll be around their uncles and aunts and the whole world. Most of the world is straight, so why would it be my fault if my child ends up being homosexual, It's not something that I'm preaching, like, telling my daughter, I really want you to meet a nice young lady, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't do anything like that, So, we're able to raise healthy children, and I would say we give to society as much as any other, as much as a heterosexual person. Like, it's just our bedrooms.
It's all love. It's not no problems or anything like that, Don't come dancing down Jamaica Avenue though. Like, if you a dude, I don't want to see that. But as far as like lesbian women and homosexual males, like, I guess, it's all good, to each his own. Whatever you choose to do in the privacy of your own home is your choice. And I'm perfectly comfortable with it because I don't have to be at your home.
I say to anybody who has a problem with the lifestyle, just get out the bedroom. As soon as you get out of our bedroom, everything else will be cool. Just get out the goddamn bedroom.
Love, equality, love, love. Open up your mind, close your eyes, let in the peace from within. Breathe within, believe without, and overcome all the fear.